Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, a place where we focus on the business side of art to help you attract more customers, to increase your profits, to ultimately live a life of creativity and financial freedom. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and this week's episode, I'm going to be going through some of the painting hacks or mural painting hacks that I have acquired, and I've asked my Instagram audience and members of the Artist Academy and people to give me, and some of them I am ashamed to say I haven't used yet, but you best believe that I put a few of these on my Amazon list and ordered it immediately because I don't go shopping in person anymore. Everything is on Amazon. And a couple of these comments that I've gotten when I asked people, what are the painting hacks or tips or material supplies that you have used that you cannot buy at a paint store? What's something that you find around the house or you've taken from another industry or something that you use on the regular that has bettered your business or your efficiency or made things easier? And several of these I had no idea. So I'm really glad I asked, and I'm going to be sharing some of the best ones with you. Before we get into that, I'm just going to share a little bit of a life update, our business and life, because I feel like our businesses are very hand in hand with our lives. And so what I'm going through in life right now is, if you can see on the video, I currently have 3 painted nails, 3 like fake nails on, and then the rest are currently off because I have no idea how these girly girls out there go get their nails done and then put on gloves and then paint all day in the heat when your hands get all sweaty. Like my nails just fall off. Is that not a thing with anybody else? Like all my friends are, I guess they have office jobs and they're like looking at each other's nails and I'm like, no. But aside from that, that's just kind of a random. I'm literally looking at myself right now while I am podcast recording for the video for YouTube. And so I talk with my hands and so I notice it and I'm like, just calling it out. Okay. I am in a phase lately of I don't want to say burnout, but tiredness again. And I think it comes from just being really busy and traveling a lot and just doing a lot for the first 100 days of the year. I did 100K in 100 days challenge, and I'm pretty sure I hit it or really, really close to it, or 100K in like the first 4 months anyway. And it kind of wore me out. And so that combined with the weather is a lot better right now, and my garden is in full swing, and I'm growing flowers, and we have new animals on the farm. We have everything's having babies, so we have baby turkeys, baby geese, baby chicks popping up every day, and a bunch of stuff. And so I've just been taking a little bit of time recently. I had a big project that I was supposed to do that canceled, and I was like, oh, dang it. I'm going to have time to actually enjoy the place that I live. We have this little farm in Missouri where we worked really hard to make it just really peaceful and full of the stuff that we love. It's very quiet and relaxing. And I'm like, oh, great. I actually have time to just enjoy it and and I haven't been putting my son in daycare all the 5 days a week. It's been more like 3 days a week. So I actually get to spend more time with him. And that's where we're at right now. And I kind of go back and forth sometimes of, well, I should be busy. Well, it's a slow spot now, but will it pick up? And in my brain, I know that it will because I'm doing several things in the background. Mostly my virtual assistants are doing it. And just there's a lot of things in motion, but nothing has landed at the moment. So just calling that out it's super common for me to have 5 conversations in a week. 2 of those are a maybe or probably going to happen, but then they don't actually set a date, or we're still talking, or you're not sure, or whatever. And so there's a lot of those happening to where I'm like, okay, if everybody that I talked to that said or was nearing yes said yes right now, I'd be busy for the next couple months. And so I'm like, okay, it's fine. Just chill out, enjoy this beautiful spring weather before it gets way too hot to be outside during the midday, and just enjoy. It's like, enjoy the fruits of my labor, enjoy the reason I worked so hard and have set myself up for this. And you know what? It feels really freaking great that I busted my butt for the first few months of the year, because now I'm like, okay, even if I take the next 3 months off, I will still be in a really good position to make at least equal amounts that I did last year, which is great. And so I always have that thing in the back of my head that's like, oh, I should probably be busier, or I should probably be doing, but I keep fighting it and trying to enjoy the present moment. And I am for most parts of it, but there's always that little thing in the back of my head. And right now I'm very much going through this spring cleaning thing, still cleaning everything out, organizing it, using up everything that I have. I have a bunch of candles stacked up in my bathroom because for some reason people decided to get me candles for Christmas and birthdays and things. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like I love them. Okay. And I just never use them. So I have been lighting candles every day in the evening and just filling the room with some kind of scent. And just it's like me and my son took a candlelit bath the other night. It was so great. And just little things like that. I'm trying to use up, like a bunch of people gave me a bunch of bubbles or bath supplies. And so I've been using those in the bath with my son of like, showing him like things that make bubbles, but also like, this is like a lavender scent, or this is a this and that. It's been really fun to go through some bath bombs and things and just like use up the things that I have rather than always looking to add more and more, because I think that's just how I'm wired. I'm like, okay, we have this farm. What else can I add to it? Or I have this big business, like let's paint a bigger wall, or let's do, and it's like, oh wait, how about let's just like marinate it, enjoy it. And yeah, okay. So getting on to this week's topic, I have my iPad here and I took a bunch of screenshots of my posts and conversations that I've had with artists lately of things that they use inside of their mostly mural businesses. I've noticed that a lot of people are commenting and mostly do murals, which is what I do. So makes sense. But so that's what it's around. It's not as much around canvases or other kind of artistic things. It's mostly around if you paint large scale. The first one, oh wait, I actually want to just show you real quick. My dad is super nice to do this, but he saves me all of his coffee cans. So his Folgers cans. The only downside to this, so I don't drink coffee, but he does a lot, and it like gives him some kind of pride too. He gives me like a trash bag full of these every couple, I don't say every couple months, but a few times a year, he'll give me a trash bag full of these containers. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad. And he just loves to be contributing in that way. And what I do with these is I mix paint in them. And you can get containers like this at the store, but they're a little bit more expensive than you think. I was going to price it out and see what they were, but I'm going to say they're like a few bucks per container. And to me, I'm like, I could use 10 of those in a day and then save them for later, or not, or the paint's getting old in them, or I throw them away. And that just seems like a big expense. So I save all of this stuff, or my dad does for me. Yogurt containers, things with a screw lid is even better. So like we get some of this, it's like this fermented kimchi, and that comes with a screw lid, like a couple things. The things with the clear bottles are the best, but I'll take what I can get. And so I just make sure to label the top of it with the color that it is so that I'm not constantly like looking at different containers. And so I save a lot of the mixed colors that I mix on site, or I mix them beforehand in these Folgers containers or yogurt containers, cottage cheese, all the things. However, I have learned that if I'm using something like this, it must go through the dishwasher first. So that is a big tip. I didn't do that. I just like rinse it out and then put it away. Many of times I have set a container out in my studio and it's been there for months and months. And then I go to use it. I open it and little bitty bit of food residue was still in there, and it's like molded and it's gross. So must go through the dishwasher before I bring it out here. Coffee cans are not that bad. It doesn't do that, but most other things do. Cottage cheese, the worst. Vitamin C bottles, still do it. First one on my list is from Keisha A. Finney. No, Keisha Finney. Yeah. She says she uses ladles for getting paint out of big gallons. It saves so much mess from pouring. She learned it as a scenic artist. That was the first one that I read, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I made this post, because that is something I have never heard of, and that I am 100% stealing the ladle from our spatula container drawer and 100% using it. My husband, again, is going to be like, where did this go? And I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know. I would... Before I used these containers, like the Folgers containers, I would take bowls or sometimes spoons and like mix my paint with that. And every once in a while, he'd be like, I don't know where all our spoons went. But I'm like, I don't know. It was just in my car when I needed something to mix with. And then it just never came back. I don't know. No, that's a really good one. And another one is, okay, this one, I just want to check yourself, myself, and everything when we're doing this. Somebody says, I saw a pro painter cover their paint trays in grocery plastic bags instead of buying new tray liners. It totally works. Okay, where in the point of this is we're just being super, super cheap versus we're actually saving money with things and actually replacing something that is of equal value. I am not convinced that a Walmart bag over your tray is as good of a thing as just a tray liner that fits in there perfectly, because the tray liners cost, what, 10 cents if you buy a bag of them? And so I'm like, in this case, I love that for the person that commented. I'm not going to say who it is because I'm like disagreeing with their post and I don't want them to think that it's a bad idea. I love that for you, but it's not. I'm going to go get the tray liners and I'm just going to do it that way. Also, I used to be super stickler on tape, and tape is expensive, right? But after a while, I was like, just use the freaking tape. It's okay. I can replace it. You might think, okay, but you're using Folgers containers instead of getting the new, like buying the clear containers from the store. And it's not of equal value because you can't see through it. You're right. And that is a hill I'm going to die on. I don't know why people choose their battles. That's mine. That's one that I like. And I'm going to stick with it. And I'm going to use my trash bag full of Folgers containers over buying new containers at the thing. And you might be totally into this Walmart bag over the tray liner thing, but that's where I draw the line. I'm not, although somebody did comment, they said you have to be careful and not put the Walmart like logo on top, because then when it gets wet with the tape or the paint, it can transfer onto your roller or onto the brush. And so it can messy things up. And I was like, see, this is why I don't do that. But, pick your hill to die on, whatever. Christine, she's been in the academy for a long time and she does a lot of wedding paintings. She says that she uses a makeup cart for wheeling her paint supplies into her wedding jobs. The top opens up, holding all of my paint, brushes, and water like a little table. And I love that for her. I think that's so great. Anything that's going to compact it, put it all in one, love it. I have a little roller container. It's not little. It's probably like 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet. And it has like a roller handle. And it's basically a crate. And I just put everything in that. Love it. That really saved me when I was pregnant, and not having to just like carry all big things of paint everywhere. As a muralist especially, I typically will buy gallons of major colors that I need and then mix the ones in between. So it's really easy for me to be hauling multiple gallons of paint to one job, and it's really heavy. It's really annoying. It takes up a lot of space, and there's a tippage issue. Like it can tip inside of my car, which the solution to that is something I have not done yet, but I need to, which is you put your gallons in tubs. So like those big, like short but big wide tubs that you would store things in that has a lid. Take the lid off, put your gallons in there. That way there's no tippage problem. I need to do that. I'm going to put it on my list. Be better than me and do that. But what I've found recently and what I really like is using these Folgers containers or cottage cheese containers or whatever it is, and filling those up, like taking my gallons of paint, say I need like yellow and green and whatever, I will put and pour like a quart into these containers, and then I'll put that in my wheelie cart and just wheel that. I'll throw in some paintbrushes and some rags and a tape measure and whatever else I need. And I will just wheel that, as opposed to having the gallons of paint with me, as opposed to having just so much room. For some reason, it really bugs me lately to have my car full of stuff, probably because I'm unloading and loading it and I have a toddler running around, and that's a spillage issue. And just recently, about a couple months ago, I had a gallon of blue paint. There wasn't a ton in it, but there was still blue command paint that sticks to everything. I had it spill in my Jeep. And so if you open the back of my Jeep currently, I'm still so mad at it. I didn't even do anything about it. There's like blue and a little bit of purple all over in the back of my Jeep. Not proud of that, but that's what it is. And my plan is to, if I try to get it off, if I ever go to sell it, I'll get it off there. But until then, it's just staying. It's probably going to get joined by some yellow paint later on. So I'm just going to keep it. And worst case, I'm going to paint over it with black command paint later on to cover it up, because paint covers paint. And don't come at me. I don't care if it's messy right now. It doesn't matter. It adds to the car. That's what I tell my husband, who just solid eye rolls at me for having spilled paint after he has, quote, told me so many times to be better, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you don't live this. You live in Theoryville. You live like you type on a desk. You don't actually deal with paint. You don't know how easy it is to actually, anyway, but we are learning and getting better about it. Gary Gomez says he uses floor varnish as wall varnish. No stippling, clouding, or roller marks. It's also a great glaze. Floor varnish. I need to clarify exactly what brand with him, but I think that's great. I never have thought about using something like that. So high five, Gary. Jesse Garcia says screw top Tupperware for traveling with house paint for murals. Will not spill even if they fall. That's my girl. I like that. Screw top. Good. I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like you're not a seasoned muralist if you haven't spilled paint somewhere valuable. But I feel like you're insane if you haven't learned from it, so, which is me, which is fine. One day I will. But we're giving you tips to learn from it. And the screw top Tupperwares for traveling with house paint, that's where it's at. Okay, this one, silicone muffin tray for 12 different colors, and they don't dry out while on the job. Cleanup is so easy too. Just pop out the crust on there. Muffin trays, love it. I was thinking about getting those because I'm not a big fan of cleaning things out and just like afterwards having to do something. I really like to throw things away. Like, I really like to take my containers and just know that this is a one-time use, and when they're done, I'm just going to throw them away. I don't have to clean up afterwards, because that's another step. And so I thought about even just adding, not even the silicone ones, but the aluminum trays. I use the aluminum turkey pan trays for mixing. They're super light. The only thing is they don't have containers on it. And so adding the silicone muffin tray on it would be, you know what I need to do? I need to get a big aluminum tray and then add like a 6 muffin tray onto it, like tape it on there. That way I have both onto it. Yeah. I have a friend who is coming out with a mural palette that's kind of on pause, but similar to that, but it's not out yet. So we're going to have to make do as we can for now. And I think this is a really good idea. So silicone muffin trays. Thank you, B. Adskins Art. And then Create with Madeline says, someone told me to use disposable lunch trays for palettes for mixing colors, which I now have adopted and love. Love that. And the nostalgicness of it. Love it. And I asked where she got it, and she said Amazon, which is also my favorite thing. So disposable lunch trays, give it a shot. Supernova Studio Art says she uses white chalk pens to outline instead of pencil. There's no chalk dust, easy to cover, and excess wipes right off with water. Love that. Somebody also added, Jessica Brackett added, yes, unless white walls, then you use black china marker and wash off with mineral spirits. Okay, I like that. I'm not sure about the mineral spirits added to it. It smells, and I usually don't have mineral spirits with me, but I'm sure that is a great addition, especially if you don't want to use a colored chalk on the wall. So many times I have students, because I recommend using colored chalk, and when you put, especially on a flat wall, if you go to use colored chalk like a blue and then you go to wipe it off, sometimes it stains the wall and it is the worst. I've had it happen to me and I've had it happen to multiple people. It's the worst. So maybe the black china marker wash off with mineral spirits is the better option for that. I don't know, but I'm open. If somebody has a better option for doing a drawing on a wall. I use pencil a lot lately because it can just be erased, right? So a really big pencil, especially if I'm doing details. Sometimes I'll just use like tape markers. If I really don't want to mess it up at all, I'll use like a piece of tape here and there, or I'll just use dots. Sometimes the dots do a lot less damage, or it's a lot less washing off than the marker or chalk. So that's also used good. Wallet Creation says she uses two water buckets. One, I've heard of this before, and you basically use one water bucket with soap and then the other one with normal water, and then you use both of them to clean your brushes. I know that one, and I just won't do it. I don't know why I need to. I have artists that come with me and they're like, hey, do you have your two buckets? And I'm like, no, I forgot it. and I need to do it, especially because brushes can get really grimy, but it's just not a practice that I put in, but I need to use the two water buckets, one with soap in it, one without. That way you can clean your brush and then you rinse it out and then they are good to go. And that's really great if you like to use the same brush over and over and over. Suzanne Stewart says, Glad press and seal wrap. Ooh, this would be great for your cupcake trays. Glad press and seal wrap right over the cupcake trays. Yeah. Squiggly Ink says pieces of cardboard for a straight line when you're using spray cans, but also she can also cut the cardboard shape into different pieces, like a stencil. Like say if you're doing leaves and you want a curvature, you can like just flip that up and down and use for cans. I'm just now recently getting into cans, so this is a good tip for that. Suzanne Stewart also says bring a small folding table, and that way you could just pop it up. I actually saw this one from my friend Whitney in Houston. She has her mom working with her, who is a little bit older, obviously, and they have a table. And so they put all the paint on the table so they're not just picking things up off the ground, which helps her mom not being as like physical as the youngins. And this helped me a ton when I was pregnant, because going down and getting anything off the floor when I was pregnant was just super annoying, and what I am not looking forward to if we decide to have another baby. I'm going to put everything on a table. Nothing is going on the ground next time at all. Like I'm going to have multiple tables in my studio and bring a pop-up one with me all the time. Hannah Stromseth art. She says, using a box lid for my palette. It has separation in it for runny paint, but also areas I can mix colors. So a box lid. I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing what that is exactly, but maybe I'll post a picture right here so you can see what that is. And I can also get clarification on it, because several people have said that, and several times I was like, what do you mean a box lid? So I will post a photo right here so you can actually see what that is. Squiggly Ink says a music stand that is height adjustable to put your projector on when sketching out murals. My projector, if you move it up, it will automatically adjust. I have the Epson 250 and it automatically adjusts even if you're going up super, super high. So maybe she's meaning if you don't have one that automatically adjusts, or if you just don't want to put it on the ground, like in the grass, or if you want to have it super even, then something like this would be great. Okay, that is it. Those are several tips for you to take onto your new mural business, and several that I'm going to be adopting as well. If you would like more like a full list of the art supplies that I use on my mural locations, with the kind of paint I use, the varnish I use, the brushes, the everything that you can buy at the store, you can go to the link here. I think it's like artistacademy.co/supply, something like that, or artsupply.list.net, something like that. It's here. And you can get my full mural supply list with everything. And I have, I'm going to say it's like 20 plus minutes on a video. I show you my ladder. I show you everything that you need to go on a mural job site, and then take all of these suggestions to add to it as well. But if you want to see especially like the cart that I used, and it has links for everything that I use on a regular basis, check the link, and I will see you next week for another episode of the Artist Academy podcast.